I have noticed that when I take a little blow to my self-esteem, that tiny little things will knock me clean off of my feet. And I've also noticed that sometimes tiny little things will lift me up out of my pit of despair in amazing ways. Hey, I'm Amy on A Lolly Life, and today we are going to talk about depression. Some days my depression is worse than others. I think that's pretty normal. I have no idea why my depression is worse some days and better other days. It seems like that with the pandemic and some of the social isolation and things like that that have come with that sometimes it's been a lot more difficult to have the positive interactions that you might normally have with some of your friends. And I've definitely found that to be the case for me. Sometimes I feel like I have acquaintances, but I do not have friends, which isn't true. But depression can make a lot of things seem very, very true. And so when one of those acquaintances, which are actually friends, but I'm like all down on myself or something, does something, just something small to tell me, hey, I'm thinking about you, or, you're important, or I appreciate you, it makes a big impact on me. And I think it makes a big impact on a lot of people. This is a pretty negative world. Most of the time, people don't bother to speak up unless they're complaining. Service is really good. They're like, oh, that was really great. I'm so glad the service was good. But do they go and tell the manager? No, they don't. But if the service was really bad, they're like, oh, the service is really bad. And then they go and they're like, I need to talk to the manager. It was terrible. I hated it. It was so bad. They were so rude. But they don't do that. If it was good, the good things don't get shared the same way. So because of that, I think that oftentimes we end up being completely empty in our emotional bank account because we just need somebody to make a deposit. You can do that a little bit yourself, absolutely. But to have somebody else do or say something positive to you, it's just so much more impactful. During those times when my depression is of such that I feel like I can function a little bit and that I can help and I have the energy and the motivation to bake bread or go visit a neighbor or write somebody a note or those kinds of things. I try to take advantage of that and do those things because there are times where, sometimes a lot, where I don't feel like that, where I'm like, I have nothing to give. Nothing. And I feel really needy. And in those times, I need somebody else who's having a good time, who's having a happy time, who's not having a depressed moment, who is doing okay. I need them to do something nice for me. It goes in that little circle. When I'm doing well, I try to do nice things for other people. When other people are doing well, they try to do nice things for, other people for me, or that kind of thing. And you would hope that it would work out so that in your times of need, you would have friends texting you or calling you or dropping by or taking you some cookies or bread or just whatever it happens to be, smiling at you. You would have people doing things like that and saying, hey, I appreciate that you did this, or you did a really great job at that, or positive things would happen in your life. They say what goes around comes around. Oftentimes when they say that associated with negative things. And they're like, well, when somebody does something rotten, you're like, well, what goes around comes around, meaning I think that, and I hope that something negative is going to happen to you. But it also applies to positive things. What goes around comes around. When you are nice and kind and you think of others and you say positive things and you try to do your best to be supportive of the people around you and to recognize their successes, because I can't say that word, and to recognize their successes and compliment them, do nice things for them, be a kind person to other people. When you need that, because I will just tell you, everybody needs it, whether they pretend like they don't or not. And I know I definitely need it from time to time, maybe even lots of times. Then there's other people that are going to be doing that for you. What goes around comes around in the positive ways too. I decided I was going to make some bread this week and take it to some friends and just hopefully brighten their day. And in each instance, as I've taken that bread over to somebody and dropped it off, I have found that it was helpful in a way that I hadn't really realized how much they needed something. They needed somebody to say something or do something positive and to make a deposit in there, a good deposit in their emotional bank account. We're coming up on the holiday season. I think that sometimes during the holiday season, we try to do nice things for other people financially. We go out and buy them things. You get them a gift and you give them a gift. Giving somebody a gift, that's great. But just something to think about and to kind of mull over is the idea that we all depend on people to help us make deposits in our emotional bank accounts. Those deposits come in a lot of different ways, and for some people, getting them a gift is exactly what they needed. But generally speaking, I think most people, they need a little bit of time or just a moment of you stopping to say, I'm thinking about you. A little while back, I had made a video, and it was on a topic that was a little bit off topic because the channel is about life skills. But it was on something that I had found particularly difficult to deal with. It was on Shutterfly. I had had a really hard time figuring out this problem, and I knew that I was not the only one that was having a hard time figuring out this problem, and that there was nothing out there explaining how to fix this. And there was a fix. And so I thought, I am going to make a video and put it out there because I think that other people might find this helpful, might find this useful. I would have really appreciated having this information in a little bit easier way where I didn't have to basically dig to China in order to get it. So I made this video. Then I was having a depressed moment. And I was depressed moment that lasted days. But I was having a depressed moment. And I was thinking about this video and I'm like, how dumb to make a video like that. My brain is coming up with every way possible to get down on me, and this is the topic that it decided to choose this video. And how silly I was for just thinking that it might be helpful to somebody. And so as I'm laying there in bed deciding, I don't think I'm going to get up today. I'm just going to lay here and be lazy and sulk and have a pity party or whatever. And I'm just laying there and I'm thinking, I know I have things I have to get done today and I don't care. I have my phone and I'm looking at my phone and I notice that there is a little notification on YouTube. Somebody had left a comment on one of my videos. And I looked at that comment and I'm like, oh my goodness, this comment is on this Shutterfly video that I had made. And basically they said, thanks for making this video. I was having a really hard time with this exact same problem, and I am thankful that you told me how to fix this issue. I don't know, maybe it took them, 30 seconds, 5 minutes. I have no idea how long it took them to write that little tiny thing. But that comment, it made such a huge deposit in my emotional bank account that day. I had a great day. I got out of bed, I was happy, I was productive, I was able to get things done. I was even at the end of the day, I was yeah, I still got this. I got this. And, and it was from something so small, just a really positive comment on a video. Those little things that you do for people may seem really small to you, but they often make huge deposits in other people's emotional bank accounts. And we need those things. We need to give those things because, interestingly enough, when I do something nice for somebody else and I see that it makes a difference for them, even when I don't see that it makes a difference for them, I feel better. It makes a little deposit in my emotional bank account. Even, so serving other people helps me. Just know that I don't always have the ability to be happy. I don't always have the ability to help others. I don't always have the ability to get out of bed and be productive. But I do sometimes. And when I do have that ability, when that is there, I want to make an effort to be making deposits in other people's emotional bank accounts Because when I don't have that ability, I need that from other people. And what goes around comes around, even with positive things. And I'll see you next time on A Lolly Life.